Hi everyone. So I wanted to make a new video along with a new episode for today's podcast. Welcome. Um, Today we are going to talk about a special album, One in a Million by Aaliyah. Why we are talking about this album is because this is the album that everyone feels they know and love, and it's why we got self-titled. And honestly, if we're being all the way real, she herself has said this is her best album because she felt free. Although, when it came to self-titled, she said this is her best work to date. So, One in a Million and self-titled, those are her babies. She appreciates Age Ain't Nothing But a Number for the sake of just, okay, this is my first album. But when she was able to do One in a Million, and One in a Million is her favorite music video that she ever has really said that she loves to do, though she loves Try Again. But One in a Million, I've heard her say multiple times that's like her favorite music video. So we're going to talk about the album. So the album came at a time where we don't even want to talk about it, but we have to. There were allegations, there were people, around her that were feeling like they had her best interest, even up until her last album. So with this particular album, this is her taking a stance. And if we're all the way real, when she first came out, which was May 24th, 94, we're almost at the 30th anniversary. So when Age Ain't Nothing But a Number came out that day, I was born within 48 hours. I wasn't missing this, okay? I was not missing this. I was literally born within 48 hours of this album. So yes, May 26th. But when One in a Million came out 2 years later, and I'm thoroughly 2 years old, and this album came out in August, a lot of people were like, whoa, because we got to think about the fact that we have Janet Jackson, who by 96, we already got If, we already got You Want This, Rhythm Nation, we got a few things, okay? Anytime, any place. We got Whitney, who literally had I Will Always Love You and I'm Every Woman, and literally came back with Count on Me in the midst of 95 with Shoop and Waiting to Exhale. And then, with Mariah was back in 95. It even had something in 93 for Dream Lover and Music Box. So 95 for Mariah was Daydream. And we know Fantasy. That's the first track. So it's just, there was so much going on by 96 where people were like, we need to get something out, because the main stars are out. But little did we know, depression was lingering within the artists I just talked about. Literally, depression was hitting bad. Janet may have been more quieter about her depression, which is why we was able to get Velvet Rope after One in a Million. So a lot of albums came out after this particular album, One in a Million, and you hear their sense of craft changing. Aaliyah has said these people inspire her. All three of them. Mariah Carey, Janet, Whitney. She said they inspire her. And at the time when Age Ain't Nothing But a Number came out, we had artists coming out soon after. Whether they were in groups, whether they were already in groups that were prior. We had male rappers that were emerging too. We had female rappers that were already making their names. So 96 was a big deal because that was the time where if you were going to release something, really release it in early. Because by 97, a lot of people are taking note from what they already released before and they're coming back. If not by 98. So 96 was like, get in there. So when she came out with 1 in a Million, everyone paid attention. And this album could have charted much more had there had possibly been better reception, better promo. But that's all around for all artists. Like, not every artist has the best promo and the best way of being able to be seen to the public because, like I said, allegations and all these other things going on. So this was her persevering and letting people know, like, I'm who I am. We ain't gonna let anyone, whoever I've ever been around, let you define who I am. I'm who I am. I'm Aaliyah, the exalted one. The one. Okay? So, yes. When I look at the tracks, when I look at how it begins. So first of all, let's talk about live performances for this album too. At the time, she was working heavy for promo. So there's still live performances that can be in better quality that we could be able to see from her. And I feel as though at the time there was an expectation to have another album where we got it, where we get more. And I feel like she was giving us all and was wanting to leave us with more later. And a lot of people that I'm seeing online, because I just don't understand why people do this online, where they speculate, oh, well, this could have been like this. Whether the person is alive or not, there's only so much criticism before it's like you're kind of trashing their craft. Like, you can't just go off and say certain things and not respect their craft. And I feel like, you know, when it comes to live performances, even for ones that people may feel like aren't their best, those are the most raw. Those are the ones that people really like, because you say to yourself, they out here. They don't gotta be. Why don't you get on stage and try and do what the fuck they did? Excuse my language. I'm gonna excuse shit. I'm damn near 30. But you know what I mean. So it's just, I know that a lot of times there's this comparison to different artists, and we'll get into that. So, yeah, received generally favorable reviews. They loved this album because it showed, oh my God, like, no, she's not no one-hit wonder. She's really a thing. Like, she can dance, she can sing. She is a thing. She is her. And there were more deals and more things coming her way by late 99. So the singles, let's talk about them. So we have Hot Like Fire, because see, in the beginning, we had Back Beats for the Streets. So that's featuring Missy, and that's letting people know, wake up, get up, we're here. Like, you thought we went back. And I appreciate Missy and Tim for their work and what they was able to do with her, because they seen something that she may have not seen, and she's seen something in them that they may have not seen. And over time, when you look back, it's like, this is legendary. Like, we tried something, put it out, and they love it. It wasn't even something that we even thought would really, really be great, because in the time, in their defense, there's so much going on. In 96, even in the midst of this album, a month later, Tupac passes. It just, so much goes on. So it's just 1 in a Million, pretty much the top single of the album. Like, you know, she's on the car, she's okay, like she listen, letting us know, like, I'm here. And nobody was doing that. Nobody was sitting in at a nice cool futuristic chair and letting you know, like, I'm that girl, okay? Get into my jacket, you know, I'm gonna dance with this man in all white, barely any makeup. I don't even need makeup like that. My hair is laid, and this is all natural too. She lets you know. Just so organic. And if your girl only knew, took it a step further. Let you know, listen, I'm edgy. Don't fuck with me. Your man may want to or try to, but I'm not that easy. She let us know back then. And Choosy Lover, you know, being able to have that cover on that album was very nice, and it's special because she loved the Isley Brothers and Ronald, and it really shaped her personality for this album, really. Gotta give it up. I believe she loved that song, that single, and it's just, I feel like, you know, there could have been more. There could have been more for a lot of different songs, for a lot of people, you know. 4-Page Letter. Now that's one of everyone's favorites because, yeah, her vocal ability. I'm sending him 4-page, and it's just, you just didn't hear that. You didn't hear confessionals, or just now you just hear it all the time, but just at that time you just didn't hear anyone open up and talk about loving someone in such a way, in such an innocent way too, because this is 16, well, let me look at the recording times, okay? Let me look at it. It's gonna say, they said 95 into 96 of August. So a whole year. So we're talking, if this is 95 and she's already 16, yeah, like I said 16. So yeah, 16, 17, literally going off. And yeah, when I look at the track listing, you know, A Girl Like You, that's a good one. Everything's Gonna Be Alright, when she's working with Rodney Jenkins, like, and that was another thing too, like, she worked with a lot of collaborators that people soon started to work with, and it worked for them too. And a lot of people don't always acknowledge the sense of, like, okay, if there's a sound with this artist and it worked, and I have the sound with this producer with that, from that artist, and it worked for me, why couldn't we collab? And that was the big question mark by the 2000s. All these R&B artists are working with similar collaborators, but they're not collaborating. So let's talk about the fact, before we finish the album, since the artists that were coming out at that time. So, you know what? Let's go through the rest of the tracks here before I even do that. Giving You More, underrated. That's an album track where you say to yourself, this is singing, like she's really singing. But, like, you know how when people push out singles and then they have album tracks where you say to yourself, all right, do I like this song just as much as the single? This is one of those songs that could have had a video, just like I Got Your Back could have had a video. Never Giving Up could have had a video. Heartbroken could have had a video. Heartbroken would have been, I could see her in the car talking about, she was going off. Ladies in the House, that's a good song. The One I Gave My Heart To. So originally that particular single, I would say, you know, when we heard it, it's sad, but I feel like we as individuals, we knew that something was hurting her. Couldn't pinpoint it, but something was bothering her, and she had to get it out. And Came to Give Love, the outro, like, just really great outro. It's bittersweet because it's really what was left in 96 for people for a long time. Even though this bonus track's like No Days Go By, which is now a song that, you know, people are circulating through YouTube saying, oh my God, we could have had this and it went just to Japan. Like, yeah. And then Come Over, which was released, you know, in Europe. But even, like, you know, for those two songs, we didn't really initially get in the US. So when we're hearing those songs later and it's like, oh my God, it's like she never left. It's like, yeah, because we were supposed to hear them. And then Hot Like Fire, the remix, you know, when that came out by 97, like people were like, oh wow. Got Lil Kim in the background, she's in red, and oh yes. Fire track. And so, yeah, just not really summarizing the album in such a short way completely, but US top catalog albums for Billboard, it went number 1. Okay? They don't talk about that. Y'all gotta do y'all research. And then US independent albums, it went number 2. This is as of 2021, 2022. It went number 2 in US independent albums. So that, and then with Billboard 200, when it was re-released 2021, 2022, it was in the top 10. And that's the crazy thing, because back in the day, originally it charted to 18. So with a re-release going to top 10, that means there wasn't enough promo. And it's unfortunate, because it's like you're 8 spots more where the same fans are with you still, you know? So it's just great album. That's what I would say. Great album. Year-end charts, US top R&B and hip-hop, 10. At the end, it was still charting in the 200 at 44. So people by the end of 97 were still having this album heavy. They were like, where's the next one? So I know I was going to talk about artists that were, you know, around at that time circulating with her. So let's take it back. AJ Number the Number came out in May, around my birthday, of 94. Then we have a Brandy. Soon after, we have a Monica. In the midst of Aaliyah coming out a year prior, there's Toni Braxton. There's groups like Brownstone and En Vogue, and you had TLC. You had a lot of women working their asses off in the 90s. I give them all credit. All of them. Queen Latifah as a rapper. You had Foxy Brown emerging. Lil' Kim was already around. Okay? You had Faith Evans, Mary J. Blige. So much art. So much art. SWV. Escape. You had so many people. These are all people that are, they love Aaliyah, but they battling. They battling. Because it's not whether her skin tone was a little lighter. It ain't about the fact of her hair being always laid and natural. Didn't always need makeup. Knew how to speak well. By 98, graduated with high honors, 4.0 average. Okay? That, she was T. She knew what to do. She just had a lot of people around her. And yeah, when this album came out, everyone took notes. Everybody. Whitney wanted to do a movie with her. She even checked on Mariah Carey when Mariah Carey was at her worst. Janet wanted to work with her. They were label mates. Michael knew of her. Okay? She is a legend. Aaliyah is a legend. And again, I just know this album impacted so many people in that time, because by 97, a whole year later, we have Mariah Carey back with Butterfly. That was her album letting people know, I'm leaving this man. I am sexy, and I'm gonna show that I'm sexy, and my hair is gonna be down, and I'm gonna have there's drinks and stilettos, and that was her own sense of letting people know, I am Mariah Carey coming forth as Mariah Carey for real, for real. Daydream, yes. Music Box, yes. Self-titled even, yes. But Butterfly, going into to Rainbow, heartbreaker. Oh. But even with Janet, where Janet came out soon after with the Velvet Rope, I'll do a separate video on the Velvet Rope, because my emotions are already trying to dip into the Velvet Rope as opposed to trying to get out of Butterfly. And those are both albums where artists had said, I was not okay, but I had to get this out. Okay? And you hear it. Aaliyah made the mark, because, like I said, with certain songs like The One I Gave My Heart To and Heartbroken, and even with her singles with 1 in a Million and If Your Girl Only Knew, these were songs that people were trying to make, and this girl did it flawlessly. So when they said, no, we need to do this too, they did it. You know, groups and artists alike. And in the midst of this album, there was a female group that was emerging as well, Destiny's Child. And they loved Aaliyah as well, especially from this album. Even down to the Are You That Somebody single, which people thought, hey, was this going to be a bonus track to this album? And I personally thought Are You That Somebody was just a single, though it could have pieced to something and could have been a bonus track at the time. It wouldn't really piece to the self-titled, because, you know, two different eras. It was like right in the middle. If there was any project that would have been between self-titled and 1 in a Million, that's where it could have been. But it's not a bad thing, because Try Again was literally right after, along with I Don't Wanna. And, you know, those songs are legendary too. So I'm not making this video on conspiracies and who liked who and all that other stuff. There's plenty of creators that do that. Me personally, speaking on the sense of music and craft and the artists themselves, Aaliyah may have probably heard whispers. She may have probably heard the fact that, oh, you know, this artist loves you, but they kind of feel like they can be better. Who wouldn't hear that in such a dominating male industry? So I won't take away the fact that any artist idolized this woman, but I'm also not going to say that she wasn't prepared to just be like, listen, I know me. And she showed us with self-titled. But this album right here was letting people know, I'm coming. And it's a very good standpoint to let people know that, because she really let people know I'm on my way. And you can still hear it to this day. Like, you can still hear the fact that she was literally on her way. And I talked about, and I don't know how I'm sitting here saying to myself, I need to talk about self-titled next. No, I talked about self-titled already. That's an earlier video. It's already in the episodes already. If you decide to listen to it, please do. But yes, I talked about self-titled already. I cannot believe I forgot about that throughout this whole video. She let us know in self-titled, like, don't fuck with me. There's instances in there. Loose rap. You Got Nerve. I Refuse. What If? There's 4 songs alone that let you know don't fuck with me. We Need a Resolution is just her trying to make sure there's a balance. But she let you know already 5 songs in, like 5 songs within the album, like don't fuck with me. Try Again is letting you know you can't fuck with me. You know, just meshing those 2 albums where you're kind of just saying to yourself, the outro going into We Need a Resolution, completely different realm. Because when you go from 1 in a Million to Aaliyah, you're hearing 1 in a Million being like, I'm here, I got more for y'all, don't worry, I'm coming back. And when you hear self-titled, we have a lot to talk about. Like, she came back, okay? And just cut short. Just cut short. But again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And she is very much missed. I miss her very much. There'll be more videos to come. And I hope you enjoyed this episode.